So let's do an example to clarify all these concepts and see this in action. So we come to Plonker. It's important to mention that forms in Angular 2 are part of the framework. It's tight integrated with the Angular core, so we don't need to import any external library, okay? So here we are. Let's create a form. First, let's get rid of the div. Let's put an input type text. And we want this required. Yeah, okay. And we have here a paragraph. This okay, so far we haven't done anything. It's just a standard HTML. We will have an input inside a form that should be required, and we will show a message below the input saying this input is required when the user doesn't introduce a value in this field. So let's give it a little bit of style. Let's get rid of this. This is unnecessary in this example. Directive, we are not going to use external directive in this example, and let's give it a little bit of style. So if you don't know this part, don't worry, there is a specific section for explaining styling components, but maybe you can get the idea from here. Okay, again, don't worry about this part, it's just to make it a little bit pretty. Okay. Perfect. Let's put the font size here, maybe a little bit smaller. Oh, sorry. Okay, yes, looks nice. So now let's work with forms. First, we have to specify this is a let's say this is our search form. We need to, as I explained before, specify our local variable is pointing to this form, and Angular will take care of this form and the validity of this form. Okay. Next, we need to specify. We need to create a model. Okay. So let's create here public model equal search. Okay, we don't need this part. So this is our model, and inside our model we have a search variable. Okay, so we can say here that with the double data binding that our model is going to be model.search. Okay, so we will keep updating the search when we are typing. If we start typing right now, the search value of the model will be always with the latest value of the input. Okay. Finally, to start working with forms, we should specify here ng control. What do we want to control? We want to control the search property. So we put here search, and we need to create a local variable. So we set input search and ng form. Okay, with this we have attached everything. Again, ng form here will search for ng control, and it will say, you are watching the search, so it will put here the proper values to keep this updated. So we want to hide the input search. Okay, so let's see the property here, hidden. This is from HTML standard with the binding expression, and we do input search. This is our local variable, and we want to hide this if it's valid. Okay. So right now we are showing the input is required. That's true because so far it's required and we haven't typed anything. But once I start typing something, immediately the input search is valid and we hide the error. How do we know that it's valid? Well, because ngForm and ngControl are taking care of handling all this. Okay, so if we remove the values, again we have the error. Let's say that now we have a submit button. Yeah, so this is type submit. And let's say send. Okay, this is a button to send information to our server, and we want to disable this when the form is invalid. We could do something like this: disable when the search form is invalid. Sorry, let's put it like this. It's a little bit twisted, but more clear. Okay, so now it's disabled, but when we type something, okay, the style change and this, but now it's enabled, right? We can click here. So that's the idea. Search form, this is our form, will hold the logic of if it's valid or not, the full form. If we have several inputs and all of them are handled by ngForm, then all of them have to be valid in order to enable the submit button. ngControl will control the values of the search and the validity of this input field. And this is the way that we work with forms. I hope that it's pretty simple for you at this point, and see you in the next video.